everybody. It's me, Bonnie, your host of the Grieving Girl podcast. And today we have me all by myself. It is a lone episode. Full transparency, I really just forgot that I was going on vacation with my sister and my family next week. And in order for the podcast episode to drop on Sunday, I would have to record it while I'm down the shore. And as much as I could do that, I don't know if I want to, and I don't know if my sister wants to, and I don't know if her kids want to. So I said, you know what, Bonnie, you're just going to be brave and you're going to do your seasonally, I don't know how to say this. Every season I do one episode by myself. I don't think it's planned, and here yet again it is. So we're going to call it seasonally until someone tells me the correct word. Lone episode. So it is Friday, July 11th. I am going down the shore this week with my sister and my family, and I'm very excited. However, the bittersweet of all of it is that it's my mom's 4-year anniversary this upcoming week on the 11th, on Monday. Will be the 4-year anniversary, which again, it always just sounds so crazy to say because it just feels like it was yesterday. Yesterday. So for anybody out there who's ever it's been 10 years and it feels like yesterday, I get it. I'm with you. It's just insane. And again, I don't know, I don't remember feeling like this with my dad, but I was 14 and 4 years just when you're little, I guess feels like forever. And 4 years when you're a whole grown up feels like yesterday. So that's the looming thing this week is just the anniversary of it all. I was saying on my TikTok and my Instagram, it's the beginning of the end countdown is currently happening. Yesterday was July 10th. July 10th in 2021 was my niece's first birthday party where my mom made these amazing cupcakes and practiced for weeks on end on how to get the icing just right. And she was just I think also gearing up to finding things that she enjoyed for herself to be able to do as a grandma. She had said to me she wanted to take a cake decorating class at Michael's one time. So I think she was also just trying to start to find hobbies that she was into. And the cake thing was definitely one of them. So she spent hours on these cupcakes for my niece's first birthday. And we went up. I mean, I remember fighting with her the night before because we were bickering on how to wash lettuce because I was in charge of the salad. And you know what? I would give anything to fight with her on how to wash lettuce any day. I would give my whole life to do that. So yeah, it's the countdown of oh, that was what happened this day. And then the flashbacks and the memories and the PTSD and the going into my text chain with her and rereading the text messages. We were talking about sushi because I was I was staying over. So I was eating dinner with her. And the night before she died, I went over to sleep over the night before so we could leave early in the morning. So we were talking about what to have for dinner that night. And it's the beginning of the end countdown is currently happening in my brain. Last night was actually a little rough. Out of nowhere. It just kind of hit me oh shit, we're here again. 4 years. So yeah, I'm going to try not to cry by myself on this couch as best as I can. I do have a little bit of a better grasp on that these days. I don't know if that's healthy. Probably not, seeing as my jaw and my neck are now locking up. That's the new thing that didn't happen right away. It didn't happen for the first 2 years. My body blew up instead. And now that my body is not entirely inflamed, now it's inflamed in another way, and it's called tension. It's just locking up on me. So I don't know. I really should let myself cry while I speak in order to, I don't know, preserve my voice. But no promises, you guys. No promises. I'm going to take a sip of my coffee. So if you're drinking coffee while you listen to this or watch this, cheers. Let's take a sip. I'm drinking Dunkin' Donuts bagged French vanilla as usual. ASMR for you. Let me do it again. Hold on. Let me get my microphone really close to my mug. Can you taste it? Hopefully you're I bet you that's real good. Okay, so here are two things that have come up this week through social media or whatever that I thought were like interesting topics to talk about by myself. Um, the first one I put on the internet on a whim because this is a true, real thought that I have. Well, let's like go back to July 20th, 21st. I think it was the service was on the 19th. We buried her on the 20th. But, you know, I'd have to go read the obituary for that. But let's go back to that day in 2021. We're at the cemetery. They are actually physically lowering my mom into the ground. I remember them asking us if we wanted to do that. And I was like, yeah, I guess, like, why wouldn't we do that? When my dad died, it was pouring rain the day of his burial. So we actually, like, didn't get to physically bury him or be near the plot. Like, we did the whole thing in the mausoleum. And then, like, when we went, that was it. We left him in the mausoleum because it was pouring torrential rain. So I actually, like, remember going back to the cemetery, like, a week later and being like, oh, this is where he was buried, because we weren't there. So anyway, so we're at the funeral. They're lowering my mom's body into the ground with a cranking her body down into the ground. And I hear, like, someone being like, Bonnie, does anybody know where Bonnie is? And, like, some people were walking to their cars. We were not. The immediate family was still standing by this casket, watching them lower this thing into the ground. And these cemetery people are calling my name like we were at a tailgate, and they wanted to know if I wanted another high noon. Ma'am. Like, these are the things that are starting to, like, resurface for me of, like, how fakaked my mom's this whole thing was. Like, from the moment that something went awry through now, honestly, because we're still in limbo land, which is, again, crazy. But someone calling my name to have me sign paperwork. I don't know even what I was signing what for. Like, confirmed she's in the ground. I don't know. You couldn't mail that to me. You couldn't call me the next day and say, we're so sorry, we have to have you come back to sign a piece of paper. I would have rather done that. And I'll never forget it. But all that being said, so we're talking about that on the internet. And if you don't follow my TikTok and my Instagram, please do, because you're missing out on conversations. So that's number one, Locust Wood Memorial Park. Please don't do that to people. I have been meaning to write a letter, I don't know, for some time, 4 years now, and I still haven't. So if you're from Locust Wood or you're going to get buried in Locust Wood, just know that the bedside manner was not great on July 20th of 2021. That being said, my mom, when she bought the plot for my dad, is thinking, like, me and him will be buried there. And again, she was 46. Like, she could have been remarried. She could have whatever. And I guess she was just like, I will get buried here. I don't know. I don't know what people think about when they buy plots. I've never had to do that. So my mom bought for her and my dad, obviously. And when your kids are 14, you assume, like, oh yeah, well, they'll get married and they'll do their own thing. Well, I'm still here by myself, single as shit. So because now I'm messed up in my head, I'm like, okay, well, I don't have a significant other. I don't have children. I'm going to phrase this as I'm only 36. Yeah, plenty of time. But also, God forbid something happens to me today. 'Cause, like, we live life thinking nothing will ever happen, and things happen every day. Where am I getting buried if something happens to me today? Don't worry, I am responsible, and I have life insurance. I shouldn't tell you that. Maybe someone will come find me and try and find it. It's not for that much. I'm not worth that much. But I've done that responsible thing, right? So, like, my expenses are paid, but now, like, where? And, like, ideally I would get buried with them. But I don't know if I can, because they only bought a plot for 2 caskets, I guess. Like, I don't know, like, what a, quote, plot means. So my question was, can I be cremated? If I can't be buried there with the casket, which I'm feeling like that's not going to be able to happen, if I get cremated, can I be put on top of them? And maybe if I'm really nice and also throw the fact in that they had me sign paperwork bedside, casket side, if you will, they'll just, like, let me do that. And a lot of people online have been like, if they won't, like, some people have said yes. A funeral director chimed in and said no. And then a lot of people are just like, tell your friends to go sprinkle you there. If I'm getting sprinkled, then I'm not getting sprinkled there. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I can have my whole urn buried down there, great. Put me with my parents. If you gotta sprinkle me, then do not sprinkle me on Locust Swim Memorial Park grass where I've cried too many times near the pile of dirt in the back that also drives me nuts. Like, honestly, my ashes will be rolling around and I'm gonna end up in that pile of dirt. So don't do that. If I die and you're watching this and my friends gonna say they're gonna go sprinkle me, and they better not sprinkle me at Locust Wood, I'll be pissed. I will haunt Cherry Hill forever. So that was one question that I was, proposing on the internet this week. And then what was the other thing? Oh, I was just talking to my friend about this as she worked out this morning. So the weird, we listen and we don't judge. And again, I have some weird stuff I have not unveiled this season yet. And I don't know if I ever will, because they do seem that weird to me, but like, whatever. One thing that's absolutely not weird and totally valid, and Mark and I talked about this last episode, is that like all of my mom's belongings are downstairs in my basement in its own cemetery in its own right. Like we had to get all of my mom's things out of her house because she had just purchased the house, as she had a mortgage, and I just was financially not in a place to take over her mortgage. Now in hindsight, 4 years later, I wish I would have, but that's okay. We didn't know these things. And so I had just moved into my own apartment, but it had no extra storage. So I had to move out of my mom's house, move out of my loft. I found this place on Facebook. Thank God for the bold and the breezy. I took over this lease from a girl who was leaving, and it had a basement with enough storage, and it had a second bedroom for like our second bedroom set. And I was, this happened out of nowhere. I was not even remotely able to wrap my brain around like throwing things away. Like I just wasn't. And we threw enough away, but there was just stuff that I was like, what do you mean? Like we have to get rid of all of this, or I have to pay for storage. It was just, it's horrible. So whatever. I ended up in my house now that I could stay here another year or two. I don't know if I will, but I can. Regardless, all of my mom's belongings are downstairs. All of her clothes, her little shoes, her bags, her everything, jewelry, everything is down there, including her cell phone, which that battery died on July 15th, probably the next day. And we've never turned it on again. And just knowing how Apple rolls, there's going to come a time, if that's 4 years ago, there's going to come a time where we're not going to be able to find the charger, to use the charger, to charge it, to turn it on, to whatever. And I want her pictures and her videos, but I'm also that sounds heartbreaking. Oh no, here she goes crying on the couch by herself. That sounds heartbreaking, because it's think about how much you use your phone in a day, right? It's for a lot of people, it's how you communicate. It's your letters at this point. In the 40s, they wrote letters. Your text messages are your letters. They're your notes. It's your point of view through life at this point. The things you search and the things that you Google, and your Google Maps history. It's where did they go? It is truly your point of view, which is wild that it's in a piece of technology, but it is. And I'm scared that, we're not going to be able to turn it on and get her pictures and her videos, but it also simultaneously, is heartbreaking to me to have to do that, which is why I have not done it yet. And then, the whole thought is okay, well, I can have a friend do it, but then there's something territorial about it, and also sacred about it, that I'm but it's not for my friend to do. I don't know, it's so complicated and weird, but also so valid. I know that I'm valid in thinking these things, but to hand my mom's phone over to someone and be hey, could you just get the pictures and the videos off of this, also seems not okay, or seems cold, because it's just I know we're gonna open that and it's gonna, I don't know, I just feel it's gonna be her point of view of how she saw my niece and my nephews, and I don't even know, does she have videos of her little birthday party or her pictures of the birthday party? I don't know what the last pictures she took of were. And she wasn't on her phone a lot, but she knew how to use it. So that was the conversation today, where it's just I feel we have to do that soon. And I don't know if I can bring myself to do it. Um, Guys, I said I was going to try not to cry through this episode, and here I am crying. But you know what? My jaw will thank me later. Because there's nothing worse than having a locked jaw. So yeah, you guys, let's take a brain break for a second. And that's for me. That's for me. But, I'm sure if you're like, oh yeah, like if I died right now, like what would people find on my phone? Hopefully it's like, beautiful pictures and blah, blah, not screenshots of you talking shit. uh, these are the things I think about. That's like why I try to leave my house like semi put together every day, because if something happens to me, I know what it's like to then all of a sudden be back. And like when my mom died, we left that house at 6 in the morning, how we left it. And then I just remember like getting back and being like, I have to clean it. Like I tidying up the couch and like folding the blankets and, putting dishes away and blah, 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 because like now here all my aunts and uncles come. Like you just don't think about, or I'm like, is the bathroom clean? Like now there's people here, and I'm sure the people didn't care, but also like I cared for her. Um, Also that's another thing that we can unpack another day, but it was just like, it kind of goes back to like the thing of like, it's sacred. Like I was not okay with everybody being in her space so quickly, but we also had no option. So like, yeah, I was not okay with that. But also like, what were we supposed to do? Uh, Drink. It's coffee, but oh well. I wish it wasn't. Okay, hold on one second. ASMR. uh, yeah. So that's that. These are, we listen and we don't judge, you guys. So hopefully if you're listening, you're not judging me. And if you are judging me, like, God bless. If you're judging me, why are you here? Um, I'm trying to think of like a brain break thing that we could talk about, but honestly, I feel, the Philly trash gate. Hopefully that they just sign the paperwork, because I need my trash picked up, and I actually am gonna put it out today, because what am I supposed to do? I'm leaving for the shore. It hasn't been picked up in 2 weeks. So that was crazy. Trashgate. What else? I guess otherwise, like, it's been kind of chill here. Uh, yeah, you guys. I don't know. I guess we could wrap it up. It's always like the Bonnie, how are you doing? July check-in. Somehow that's how the podcast seasons land. Again, I wasn't intentionally planning on doing a solo episode, yet here I sit. Because, I can't leave the fans hanging for those who listen bi-weekly. I know you needed something. But yeah, so I am curious to see how I am on Monday. I haven't been with my sister for an anniversary. Usually I'm a hot mess. It might make it better. It might make it worse, because then we're like all together, but somebody's missing in her favorite place. So I don't really know. Oh, one last thing. Today's been, it's like I'm feeling a little guilt, but I think that I guess I'll go is the cemetery. I do have to like pack. I'm supposed to go to the gym. I kind of had planned to like go yesterday, and then I also like slightly forgot that I was going to go tomorrow. And then I kind of forgot that I was going to go tomorrow. And then my aunt offered for me to go stay at the shore tonight so I could beat the traffic tomorrow, which I was like, oh yeah, then like I'll do that. And then last night I was like, oh no, like when am I going to go to the cemetery? And then I have like, I cannot go to my workout today, to go to the cemetery, to come back, to go to work, to then go back into New Jersey. And that sounds like a lot of work, but I also just don't feel okay like not going to the cemetery. But like I'm not going to drive back on Monday to go to the cemetery to go back down the shore. So that's been like an interesting, like I don't really want to go there, but I feel like I need to go there because I won't be able to go there until a whole week later, which sometimes I go the following week too, because that's like when we buried her. And, it just goes back to this thing of like cemeteries and being there, not being there. When do you go? When do you not go? they would want you to just do what you need to do. They're not there. That whole idea, but like something just doesn't feel right about like not having flowers there, even though like someone else could go to the cemetery. Like other people do visit her, but I just I don't feel right. So I made a joke this morning of just like, well, the cemetery or leg day both sound torturous, but one has to be done. Leg day, I can just like make up down the shore or something. Uh, yeah. So I don't know. I'm feeling weird and torn about that because I also like would just rather go to the gym and stay on my schedule. But then like, what, she's gonna have a bare grave on her 4-year anniversary? That doesn't sound right either. So yeah, my friends, for my grieving friends, like this is hard. Life is hard. And I've got nothing else to offer. I just wish that I could just sit here and be like, I'm so much better. No, I'm not. I'm not. I am not better at all. Uh I think my masking humor has gotten stronger, as it does. Like if anything, I'm just getting funnier. Uh and as one of my clients and I at the gym discussed, the funniest people are the most fucked up. So that's me. Yeah, so that's that. That's the episode, you guys. It's short, it's sweet, it's to the point. The wrap up is, can you be buried on top of your parents if you're cremated? Locust Wood, you suck. Uh Number 2 was, think of how much you use your cell phone and how it's like your point of view through life. Like when you're gone, like it's kind of like something that still connects you to the living, and that in the weirdest way. And uh, number 3 is, Bonnie is still not okay 4 years later. Still feels like yesterday. Still not wrapped up in the ways that we want it to be. And, we're going to go down the shore this week, and we're gonna have some preps pizza and have an ice cream cone and wish that Nance was with us. And I think that that's just how it'll be forever. And I don't know if that's just like, like I didn't get to say goodbye, so I just still feel so unraveled. Like I'm still so not okay with it because I didn't get to say goodbye. She just was gone. So I don't know if I would have felt different had I gotten to say, even if she was like not conscious. Like had I gotten to say anything to her. I just didn't. Um so we'll just think about her, and if you're in Cherry Hill, and if you could go visit her, that would be so nice. Uh and if you're not, do something kind for people. She was the nicest lady. That's what everybody will say. So do something kind, and, tell your people you love them, because it really is true. Like both of my parents were gone. Like I just didn't get to say goodbye to anybody. So just love big, y'all. Because you think it can't happen and then it does. Um, Sorry for crying. Hopefully Adam will cut out at least 20 seconds of the meltdown I just had because he's so nice to me. And if you don't, that's okay. You'll just have to listen to me cry in your car. Okay, you guys, I'm gonna get out of here because now I have to pack my suitcase for the beach. Let's all take a deep breath. And take a sip. And I will talk to you in 2 weeks. I don't really know who our guest is quite yet. I think I have an idea, but I don't want to spoil it. All right, guys. Happy Friday. Well, really happy Sunday. And Doodles.